morning, students. Today we will start our new chapter, that is active and passive voice. In English grammar, this chapter is very important. So let's start. Active and passive voice. In English, all sentences are written in either of the two voice, whether it is in active or in passive voice. The voice of a sentence tells us whether the subject in a sentence is performing an action or it is receiving an action. When the subject is the performer or doer of the action, that is, when the subject is performing an action, the verb is in active voice. For example, the mechanic repaired the computer. What is the action performed here? Repaired. What is the subject of the verb repaired? The mechanic. And who performed the action of repairing? The mechanic. Okay? Clear? So, in this sentence, the subject of the verb also performed the action named in the verb. So, this sentence is said to be the active voice. So, we can say that in this sentence, what is the sentence? The mechanic repaired the computer. The mechanic is the verb. The mechanic is the subject. Repaired is the verb. And what is the object in this sentence? The computer. So, we can write the subject as following: subject plus verb plus object. Okay? So, again, the mechanic is the subject, repaired is the verb, the computer is the object. Clear? Now, when the subject of the sentence is the receiver of the action, that means the subject is not performing the action but it is receiving the action, the verb is in passive voice. The computer was repaired by the mechanic. What is the action performed? Repairing. Correct. What is the subject of the verb was repaired? The computer. So, does the subject, the computer, perform the action of repairing? No, here not. The subject, the computer receives the action of repairing. Here it is not repairing, it is receiving the action. This sentence is said to be in the passive voice. So, we can say in this sentence, the computer was repaired by the mechanic. The computer here is the object, was repaired, verb, and mechanic becomes the subject. That means you can say we have interchanged the place of the subject and object. So what will be the structure? Object plus be verb, that is the helping verb. Here we have used was, helping verb, to make a meaningful sentence. So in every passive voice we have to use the helping verb or be verb depending upon the object, plus participle form of the verb, plus by we are using to showing by whom the action has been performed, and subject. Clear? So, where we use the passive voice? Commonly, the passive voice is used when the doer of the action is obvious. For example, English is spoken all over the world. By whom it is not written, by it is obvious that by people the English is spoken. When we do not know the doer, when we are not aware of the doer, that is who is doing the action, at that time also we are using the passive voice. For example, the cup was broken. Here we are not aware by whom the cup was broken, but we know that by somebody it has been done. So, next, when the person or thing acted upon or the action is more important than the doer, or when the doer is irrelevant. That means when the action is more important than the doer, at the time we use passive voice. For example, laws has been passed in Nevada, Florida and California allowing self-driving car on the roads. This 3 point, let's go ahead. When we want to be a view about who is responsible. For example, brain, mom, the blue vase is broken. Okay, and the 5th one in the formal speech and reports. Clear? When we are using the passive voice. Now, rules that should be kept in mind while conversion. That means from active to passive, what rules should we keep in mind? The first one is, while changing the sentences from active voice, we have to be very careful about the use of the personal pronoun. That is, personal pronoun changes. Okay? When we are converting the active voice to passive voice, we have to change the personal pronoun. For example, I need money. Okay, this is active and I is personal pronoun here. But when we are changing in passive, it will become money is needed by me. So here the pronoun I is changed to me. Clear? Second, Anu insulted her. Active voice and the personal pronoun is her. We will change it into passive. She was insulted by her. Okay? So, other rules. The tense of the sentence will not change. When we will change active to passive, the tense of the sentence will not change, but we will use the past participle form of the verb. This is very important because the children used to confuse between active voice, active and passive voice, and direct, indirect. In direct and indirect, the tense will change, but here in active and passive, the tense will not change. When interrogative sentences are changed into passive voice, they retain their interrogative form. That means they always remain in the interrogative form. For example, do you obey your parents? This is an interrogative sentence. In active voice, we will make it, are your parents obeyed by you? Okay. So, the form of the sentence is changed, but the tense is not changed, as well as the interrogative part is also not changed. Some more rules. Present and past participle. In simple present passive and simple part passive, the difference is only the be verb. Sentence will remain the same. Only by the be verb we come to know that the tense of the sentence. For example, greeting cards are made with chart paper. Okay, this is simple present. Okay, how we will change into passive voice? It is simple present tense because are is there, so we will make these pictures were painted by those children. These pictures were painted by those children. Sorry, this is the simple past passive. Actually, in the first sentence, greeting cards are made with the chart papers. Okay. So, this is simple present passive. How we come to know? Because are is there. Are is used for the simple present tense. Made is there. That means it is the past participle form of the verb. So, we can call it is a simple present passive. And simple past passive, only were is there. These pictures were painted by those children. Where is used for past and painted is the past participle form of the verb. So in this way you have to change. In continuous passive, in perfect passive, whether the sentence is in simple perfect, present perfect or past perfect, we have to use have and has. In present perfect we will use have, and in past perfect we will use had. Okay, so has and have is used to show the present tense and had is used for past tense. And what will be the structure? Been plus past participle in a contrast for both present and past perfect passive. Okay, see the example. The dish has been made by my brother. So we have used has plus been plus part participle form of the verb. And if it past passive, then we will use had plus been plus part participle form of the verb. All the apples had been eaten by them. Okay, so in continuous passive we will use been plus past participle form of the verb. Other will remain as it is. Object plus been plus part participle form of the verb plus subject. So in continuous passive, been plus past participle is used in both present and past continuous passive. The only difference between present and past is the be verb. Okay? So we will see the example. A function is being organized to celebrate Women's Day. Here is showing that the sentence is present tense and being continuous tense is showing. Second, the function was being organized to celebrate the Women's Day. Here only the difference is and was. Otherwise the sentence is same. So this is and was is only showing the present and the past tense. Okay, clear? Now, tenses. I will show you a table how in different tense we are using the passive and active form. So let's see the table. Here is the table. First tense, simple present. Our sentence is Seema draws beautiful picture. So here we will change the object into subject and subject into object. The sentence will become beautiful pictures are drawn by Seema. Object plus be verb plus part participle form of the verb. Okay, and by Seema. Here we are using are because we are having picture in plural form pictures. We are not having in singular form. So we have used are. Same way, simple past, Anil made a frame. A frame was made by Anil. Present continuous, Anil and Sunil are painting the big canvas. The big canvas is being painted by Sunil and Anil. Here being, B-E-I-N-G is showing the continuous form of the tense. In the same way, in past continuous, we will use the wall was being whitewashed by them yesterday. Okay? Present perfect, they have invited you. You have been invited. Here I have not written the subject. It is understood, but you can write by them. Pronoun will change, but sometimes in the sentence we can omit the subject, and if we are not having the subject, we can add the subject. Past perfect, I had eaten all apples. All the apples had been eaten by them. Okay, here the word been, B-E-E-N, shows the perfect tense. BEING showing the continuous tense, whereas BEEN showing the perfect tense. Simple future. They will decorate the clay pots. The clay pots will be decorated by them. Here, with the be verb, we will use will also to indicate that the sentence is in future tense. Okay? And if we are having models, we can make the sentence like this. I can do it. It can be done by me. So here student, I have not used all the 12 tenses. We are having 12 tenses now, 4 present, 4 past and 4 future. So other tenses are not changed into passive voice. We can't change other future tense like future continuous, future perfect tenses in the passive voice. And perfect continuous tense is never changed in the passive voice, whether it is present, past or future. Okay, so I hope you understand this chapter, and if you are having any problem, let me know through my comment box. Thank you, student.